مرحبا بكم في برنامج أعمال الشرق الأوسط.
Welcome to Business Middle East. This week we analyse the recovery of Chinese stocks and take a business snapshot of Egypt seeking dollar funds.
خسائر كبيرة في سوق الأسهم الصينية منذ منتصف الشهر الماضي.
After a large drop last month in the Chinese stock markets, the government took action to provide support, which helped them recover last Friday.
في النهاية لتعافي الأسواق الأسبوع الماضي.
Some analysts describe this sharp fluctuation as a collapse of the stock market and believe it could reach beyond the Great Wall of China. Most Chinese trade involves individual investors, thus these variations caused a state of panic amongst them. But is all of this an exaggeration of the fluctuations and the markets? We'll discuss this after this report.
هذا ما سنناقشه بعد التقرير التالي.
China's stock markets are bouncing back. This thanks to a ban on stock sales brought in by Beijing. Last month, China's two benchmark indexes lost nearly a third of their value. To help correct this, large stakeholders were barred from selling stock shares, while central bank funds were used to buy shares. Chinese stock markets performed strongly for a second day in a row on Friday. The benchmark Shanghai Composite Index was up 4.59% at the close on Friday, and the Shenzhen Component Index had made a 4.86% gain. Chinese authorities have taken several actions to turn things around. They include cutting interest rates, suspending initial public offerings, relaxing margin lending and collateral rules, and the enlisting of brokerages to buy stock. China's government has also announced plans to invest more than $40 billion to support growth in flagging economic areas.
Let's get the latest from the Chinese stock markets. Joining us is Nour Eldeen Al Hammoury, Chief Market Strategist at ADS Securities Abu Dhabi. What do you make of the Chinese stock trends? Technically speaking, will the recovery continue?
The recent economic slowdown is increasing investors' fear, leading them to withdraw from the markets into more safe haven investments. However, the regulators intervene to stop the bleeding, and they're likely to intervene further if things go wrong. From the technical analysis point of view, this is the Shanghai Composite Index, which remains within a retracement, more on the downside, leading to a drop of 30%. However, the most important point in this chart is that it rallied by more than 8% in the past few days. Also, it spiked right from its 200-day moving average, which is a very important average in the short and medium term. But so far, we haven't seen a breakthrough. This might also be the reason why the index rallied last week. As long as the index is above that moving average, the general outlook is likely to remain positive in the short to medium term.
Do you think reactions to China's market volatility have been exaggerated? What was the impact on MENA markets?
China is one of the major economies which backed the global economic recovery after the financial crisis. Therefore, the continuous slowing down is causing fear among investors. However, it's worth mentioning that the slowing down is not significant or dangerous. China is still growing by 7%, which is the highest growth rate in the world. Traders should not overreact or panic. As for the Middle East markets, as always, the equities are sensitive to any global developments, including what's happened in China and Greece. However, this week, equities rallied only on hopes of a debt deal between Greece and the European Union.
Thanks, Nour. See you next week. Now, Egypt's second largest bank is currently in talks with several Arab and international institutions. They're looking to strengthen dollar resources. Here's more in Business Snapshot.
Egypt's second largest state bank is planning to raise $500 million via a dollar-denominated bond on international markets within 3 months. Sources say Bank Missour has been negotiating with international institutions to promote the bond sale. Egypt returned to the international debt market last month after a 5-year hiatus because of political and economic instability. It's paved the way for the country's banks to tap financial markets for cash. They're now lining up to raise more dollars to fill a gap that's pushed up inflation and put the country's economic recovery at risk. It's reported that Bank Missour has held informal talks with Gulf and international banks.
That's all for now. You can share your thoughts with us via social media using the hashtag #BusinessMiddleEast. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Business Middle East. شكرا لحسن المتابعة، ويتجدد الموعد معكم الأسبوع المقبل.